Hey, folks, we are back. What is going on? The show's over, man. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. We were having our usual after the show discussions and got to a very interesting topic. So, for as long as we kind of feel like talking about this, we're gonna briefly talk about a very interesting question that came up and give you guys sort of a fun after hours with all of us stream. Now, you'll notice that we are minus the co-host herself, Brittany. She's traveling, so she won't be available for this. But I, of course, kept at least two of the four of us along with me for this three-person styled hilarious conversation that just had to happen. Chris, why don't you go ahead and give him the question that you just brought up just a moment ago?
The question was, oh, what was the exact wording of the question? Is like, if you have sex with your clone, is it considered masturbation?
Yes, folks. If you have sex with your clone, is that masturbation? And I have to say, it's quite a question. Is it? Because here's my thought. Okay, go with me here. Go with me here. This is just a random thought. The clone of you does have their own personality and is a separate human being. But wouldn't the clone have your personality?
Ideally, yes.
I mean, basically, aren't they you? So the only difference is it's a physical embodiment of you, right? Now, we're not talking about can the clone give consent, because, duh, obviously. But isn't it basically masturbation? Because you're now with yourself. It's still you. It looks like you. It is you. It's a second you. So, isn't that really what the deal is? It's not really sex, is it? Devin, you're the woman here. I know you're thinking that we're fucking crazy here. Devin, what are your thoughts? And she, of course, can't hear.
No, I can hear.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, I'm so confabulated, I guess, because I don't know. I don't understand. I would say it's masturbation because you're having sex with yourself, and having sex with yourself is masturbation, but you're having actual sex with yourself. I'm so confused. I don't know. I honestly don't
technically.
know. Yeah, technically I'm having sex with myself. Would that be incest, though?
But would it be?
I don't know.
It's not somebody you're related to. It's you.
It's me.
Because, all right, so now follow me on this, okay? Because if having sex with your clone is anything other than essentially masturbation, then what is having virtual or cyber sex with an image of you?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Wait,
we have
what?
Okay, so we have VR headsets now. And we've seen that, ironically, of course, the Japanese have come up with sexual toys that utilize VR. So there's people have always seen the photo of the video of the guy that has the breast that he's fondling, while there's a massive machine attached to his penis, and he's in a full body suit with the VR visor on. So they have stuff for you to do this whole thing
Time to be alive.
virtually. What a wonderful time to be alive. But they have that. But in having that, if you were to put an image of yourself up there, right, and you're getting off sexually to an image of yourself, you would consider that just a whole new level of masturbation. It's masturbation where you're sexually interested in yourself. Isn't that what the clone is? Like if you got a real doll that was the spitting image of you, you would say it's definitely masturbation. But does it change because the clone can move around? And if that's the case, when we get androids, and that's clearly going to include sex robots because humanity is always interested in sex, wouldn't that also be masturbation because it's not a real person? So does making the clone who could not exist if you didn't exist, wouldn't that also be the same thing?
Well, I
I've
mean,
stood
you could
in silence.
existentially argue that the moment the clone is produced, it becomes an independent being that has its own experiences and thoughts, whereas the android or the virtual reality is always just going to be a simulacrum.
Right, but if let's say, all right, fine. Let's not say androids. Let's use a movie term here. Let's go with the Blade Runner replicants. You can program memories into the replicants. You can make them have the personalities that you want them to have. So, what if until Ricker Harris crazy? But like, what if you? All right, so let's stay in that vein. Let's say it's not a straight up clone. Let's say it's replicant level technology here. You made someone who has all of your memories, all of your personality, is absolutely like you in every way, except for you made them to be you. Is that still just a masturbatory tool, or or are you or are we in some other new space at that point? Stunned to silence. I have stunned them to silence at the show.
I don't understand life anymore.
I just broke my two co-hosts.
I mean,
I am done. I'm sorry. I
it's
cannot.
God. All I can think about is the one song about the Blade Runner now. Oh, I can't even remember what it was called. Anyways, I don't know. That's a strange place to go to because sufficiently advanced artificial intelligence would be indistinguishable from actual intelligence, and you could still argue that by creating something to that level of sophistication, at that point it starts having its own experiences and its own interpretations of them, and I don't. It counts as a sentient being.
But does it count as a sentient being? Because it's a clone of you. Like its entire intelligence is based on your intelligence.
Yeah, but the moment you stop being one singular entity, you can, even though it's based on you and your intelligence, it may not come to the same exact conclusions that you would in situations. It'll have different, unique experiences.
Mm.
Hmm. Okay, but where does that line get
Because,
drawn?
I
Because
mean, you
a
always have
machine
situations.
could be the same way. Like if I build a sex robot, like it's going to be this. It's going to have a
Like,
different experience at that
but
point
no,
as well.
the problem is the level of artificial intelligence. If it is to like the replicants from Blade Runner level,
Uh huh.
where they end up becoming beings that have free will and even clones and things like that. Yes, it's built off of a person who and their personality and everything, but even as human beings you have moments where there's things that you do that you think, oh, I would have done this differently. Well, what happens if the person or thing that's created using you makes different choices in those situations? They become a separate entity with their own experiences. Whereas a machine without sufficiently advanced intelligence is still just a machine that operates within the confines of its programming.
I, for one, accept our sex-crazed overlords, but that's
I
just
think the
me.
big difference is free will.
Hmm.
Because unless you make the android sufficiently advanced enough to, say, the level of a replicant, it would not inherently have free will. A clone would inherently have free will, and an android thing like a replicant would inherently have free will.
That's fair.
I like that. That's a really good explanation because I was so confused.
Well, yeah, but it's like, at what point does the intelligence reset? Because obviously, there's a big difference between, like, say, I'm trying to think of the Lucy Liu bot from Futurama,
Mm.
and the replicant from uh, Blade Runner, and just like obviously a real doll, and with like, voices to it, and say like the Japanese sex robot VR situation that show up in that video.
Well, even the Lucy Liu bot from Futurama, it doesn't have free will. It's still operating within the parameters of what it was programmed to do.
Well, it does at one point, because it like tells Fry to stop, basically. Like,
Yeah.
it basically tells Fry, like, I want to instead be with Bender at that point.
That wasn't the Lucy Liu bot. That was Lucy Liu.
Was that Lucy Liu herself?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
shit.
that was Lucy Liu's head that ends up with
Oh, that's right. It's her head. Never mind.
Bender. No,
forgot
is
about that
even
part.
they have like the Terminator death for the Lucy Liu bot, but even then, in the end, her personality goes away and blurts out the pre-freaking specified computerized Windows voice thing. The Lucy Liu bot had no actual free will, basically.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Its
Yeah. I remember that.
personality was entirely the sum of its programming and nothing more. It did not have unique experiences.
It just could make decisions and do things. It didn't have true free will.
Yeah. Because, like, if you remember, there was like plenty of times where the robot would be speaking in Lucy Liu's voice, and then when it came up to something, it would go into the default freaking Microsoft voice thing, where it was just like purely robotic.
True.
Whereas the replicants from Blade Runner, they were completely indistinguishable from humans.
I haven't even seen Blade Runner. I need to watch this.
Shame.
I know. Shame.
Shame.
Ding,
Shame.
ding, ding.
I'm gonna have to go and get the video for you, aren't I? I'm gonna have to get it.
Go get it. Post it on my thing. Tag me. Whatever.
Shame. 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 Shame.
How dare you?
I'm ashamed.
But yeah, basically the whole point of the replicants from Blade Runner is that they were supposed to be pretty much, completely indistinguishable from humans.
But were they?
Shame. Shame.
There were ways to find out that they were replicants, but the replicants themselves thought they were entirely human.
Shame.
Yeah, they just had the lifespan of a thimble, and
Yeah.
Damn.
like, yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, the replicants die extremely fast, but otherwise they live like regular humans.
And I'm shamed.
Yes, you've been shamed because you didn't watch the movie. How dare you?
I know. I have been sufficiently shamed. Sorry, YouTube. And words don't do justice in the Justice League, and everyone. My mother. I'm sorry. I'll watch it later, maybe.
Shameful.
I know.
But yeah, so folks, we discussed this one. I think we've come to
I
a
want to watch Blade Runner again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're doing it for the movies millennials might have missed, and then for movies you didn't know you needed, we're doing. What are we doing? Are we doing Dune? It might be Dune. I can't remember.
Ooh.
But those will be coming up. So, folks, check those out. This is the end of our after hours discussion. Sorry, it was just really funny, and we had to like hop in and talk about this on air so you guys can hear about it. We will, of course, talk to you guys later. This has been the After Hours. We will talk to y'all next time.